14, I wish to report to the House that I have received 5 messages from the Senate regarding passage of 3 Senate bills and 2 National Assembly bills. The first message conveys that on 11th June 2024, the Senate considered and agreed to the National Assembly amendments to the Count Licensing Uniform Procedure Senate Bill number 9 of 2022. You will recall that on 2nd May 2024, this House passed the said bill with amendments, following which I refer the schedule of the National Assembly amendments to the Senate for consideration in accordance with Article 110(4) of the Constitution. Honourable members, the concurrence of the Senate with the National Assembly on the bill concludes the bicameral consideration of the bill under Article 110 of the Constitution. The second message conveys that on 11th June 2024, the Senate considered and passed the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 19 of 2024, with amendments. The said bill seeks to provide the additional allocations to county governments for the financial year 2024-25 and the responsibilities of national government and county government pursuant to such allocations. Honourable members, the third message conveys that on 11th June 2024, the Senate passed the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2024 with amendments. This annual bill seeks to provide for the equitable allocation of revenue raised nationally among the county governments for the financial year 2024-25 and the responsibilities of national and county governments. Honourable members, having passed the 2 bills, the 2 Senate bills, the Senate now seeks the concurrence of the National Assembly pursuant to the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. Honourable members, the centrality of the said bills in the budget process and the prescribed statutory timelines calls for their expedited passage. In this regard, you will notice that I have directed the clerk to list the 2 bills for first reading under orders number 10 and 11 in the supplementary order paper for today, Tuesday, 18th June 2024. Thereafter, both bills will stand committed to the Budget and Appropriations Committee for consideration. I urge the committee to prioritize the bills and report to the House as soon as is practicable to enable the House to proceed with the next stage of the bills. The 4th and 5th messages, honourable members, conveys that on 11th June 2024, the Senate considered and passed the Statutory Instruments Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2023, and the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2024, with amendments. The Senate has now referred the 2 bills back to the National Assembly for consideration pursuant to Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution. Honourable members, this House is therefore required to consider Senate amendments to the 2 bills. In this regard, I direct the clerk to circulate the schedule of the Senate amendments to the 2 bills to all members. Thereafter, the Senate amendments to the Statutory Instruments Amendments Bill 2023 will stand referred to the Committee on Delegated Legislation, while the Senate amendments to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Bill 2024 will stand referred to the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs. The 2 committees are expected to expedite consideration of the Senate amendments to their respective bills and submit their reports to the House. Aware of the nature of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Amendments Bill, I direct that the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs should table its report on Thursday this week, the 20th June 2024, during the morning sitting. The House is accordingly guided. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. 1. Documentation submitted by the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning during the Budget Highlights Day, Thursday, June 13th, 2024. A. Budget Statement for the Financial Year 2024-2025. B. The 2024 Budget Policy Statement. C. Estimates of the revenue, grants, and loans for the financial year 2024-2025 budget. D. Financial statements for the financial year 2024-2025 budget. E. Medium-term debt management strategy 2024. Budget highlights the Mwananchi Guide for the financial year 2024-2025 budget. And G. Statistical annex to the budget statements for the financial year 2024-2025. 2. Legal notice number 215 of 2023 relating to the Wildlife Conservation and Management Access and Conservation Fee Regulations 2023 and the explanatory memorandum from the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. 3. East African Community EAC custom proposals for the financial year 2024-2025 from the National Treasury. 4. Report on the status of administrative justice and access to information in Kenya from the Commission on Administrative Justice for 2012-2023. 5. Nominees to the Webuye West, Isiolo South, Nandi Hills, and Mumias East constituencies committees from the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Board. And finally, Honorable Speaker, the agreement on the establishment of the Global Green Growth Institute, GGGI, from the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary, Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to lay.
Chairperson, Committee on Regional Integration, Wanjiku.
Honorable Speaker, I do not have the papers. Maybe I consult the
Clerk,
to the desk in a few minutes.
do you have her papers? Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Labor, Karemba. You have a report to table? Clerk, you should be notifying members who have business way in advance. Wanjiku Moya. The next mic. There's a mic next to you. It's not working. Kasheri, give Wanjiku space. Use that.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This one is working. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 18th June 2024. The report of the Committee on Regional Integration on consideration of business transacted by the East African Legislative Assembly at the 4th meeting of the first session of the 5th Assembly held in Arusha, Tanzania from 11th to 23rd June 2023, and a study visit to the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, headquarters in Abuja, Federal Republic of Nigeria. I beg to lay.
Karemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 18th June 2024. Report of the Departmental Committee on Labor on its consideration of the Employment Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 62 of 2023. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Committee on Regional Integration. Wanjiku Muya.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, the mics have a problem. I beg to give the notice of motion. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give the notice of the following motion that this House adopt the report of the Select Committee on Regional Integration on its consideration of business transacted by the East Africa Legislative Assembly at the 4th session of the first session of the 5th Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 18th June 2024. Thank you.
Honorable Timothy Wanyonyi. Member for Westlands.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That aware that land is a critical but limited factor of protection that supports human habitation and food production, noting that agriculture is Kenya's economic mainstay. Appreciating that the Central Bank of Kenya, CBK, Monetary Policy Committee, Agriculture Sector Survey 2022 estimated the contribution of agriculture sector for the country's gross domestic product, GDP, to be 22% directly and 27% indirectly. Through these linkages with other sectors, further appreciating that the survey showed that the sector employs over 40% of Kenya's total population. Concerned that in the Land Reform Volume 3 publication, the Kenya Land Alliance land estimated that only 17% of the country's land mass is classified as suitable for rain-fed agriculture, while the remainder is either semi-arid or arid. Further concerned that the country's agriculture productivity has been decreasing over the years, cognizant of the fact that the decline in agriculture productivity is partly attributable to the shrinking agricultural land due to unplanned settlements that encroach on agricultural lands. Further concerned that agricultural lands in rural areas are continually being subdivided into small portions for build development, thereby diminishing size of land available for agriculture, noting that there is need to put in place measures for effective land use in the country in order to guarantee optimal use of agriculture. Now, therefore, this House resolves that the government, through the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Planning Developments, puts in place a policy framework for effective land use in rural areas by consolidating and designating zones for built development, for commercial and residential developments with shared public utilities, and separate zones for agriculture use in order to arrest further diminishing of agricultural land and steady the country's agricultural productivity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Peter Nabulindo.
In rural areas by consolidating and designating zones for built development, for commercial and residential developments with shared public utilities and separate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that aware that Article 43, Section 1 of the Constitution entitles every person to the right to the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to health care services. Further aware that every year an estimated 14,000 children born in Kenya suffer from sickle cell and hemophilia diseases, which with the highest prevalence rate being within Western, Nyanza and coastal regions. Concerned that failure to undertake sickle cell and hemophilia screening at birth hinders timely administration of appropriate treatment and other mitigation measures to forestall high infant mortality caused by preventable diseases like malaria. Cognizant that national population surveys does not include data on sickle cell and hemophilia diseases, concerned that the dearth of data and information negatively hinders prioritization of resources and implementation of sickle cell disease management programs. Recognizing that the number of infant deaths caused by the disease continues to grow as a result of underfunding due to lack of data on the number of cases of the killer disease. Now, therefore, this House resolves that the national government, through the Ministry of Health and in conjunction with county governments, conducts awareness and sensitization programs on sickle cell and hemophilia diseases and supports research and training for medical personnel on the two diseases. And B, puts in place measures for mandatory screening of newborn sickle cell and hemophilia diseases in all public health facilities in the country in order to create database for guide funding and other interventions aimed at curbing the diseases and reducing infant mortalities resulting from the disease. I beg to give notice.
Go on to the next. Order, honorable members. Order. Order. The conversations are too loud. I can barely hear what the member for Matungu is saying.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, my second motion is I beg to give notice of the following motion. That aware that commercial sugarcane production in Kenya was introduced in the early years of independence with an aim of eliminating dependence on sugar importation and contributing to economic transformation in the sugar belt and the country at large through agriculture. Acknowledging that at its pinnacle, the sugar industry significantly contributed to the country's national gross domestic product, GDP, and became one of the largest net importation of sugar, which negatively impacts on the balance of trade. Noting that the decline in sugar production is attributable to factors such as mismanagement, interference, and unfair competition from cheap imported sugar. Further concerned that state-owned sugar millers like Mumias Sugar Company and Zoya Sugar Company ceased milling while owing farmers hundreds of millions of shillings. Appreciating that the government has been putting in place strategies, policies, and regulations to define roles of millers and major players and stakeholders in the sugar industry in a bid to revamp the sector. Concerned that the acute shortage of sugarcane resulting from mass abandonment of sugarcane farming continues to roll back initiatives for reviving sugar milling. recognizing that further investment in revamping sugar companies before reviving sugarcane farming will occasion loss of the invested public funds instead of yielding success. Now, therefore, this House resolves that the national government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, reviews the sugar development policies to provide that every investor miller sets aside definite funds for development of sugarcane farming, incentivizing farmers to embrace sugarcane growing and to enhance cane production in each of the respective zones. I beg to give notice. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Oscar Namblindo. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Request for statements. Member for Kirinyaga County, Jane Njeri.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C. I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the murder of Mr. Derek Gashoki, who had finished his secondary school education in 2023 and was set to join the university. Honorable Speaker, on 18th May 2024, Mr. Derek Gashoki, aged 19 years, was shot dead by a police officer attached to Kenyaga Police Station at the Kendai Shopping Center. The unfortunate incident happened at 11 p.m. when police officers who were on patrol arrived at the market center where Mr. Derek Gashoki and his friends were playing pool. As a result, angry residents accompanying the deceased family stormed the Kenyaga police station and recorded a statement under OB number 23/29/5/24, demanding answers of the killing of their kin. Consequently, a police officer from Kenyaga police station was arrested following the killing. However, she was later released. Honorable Speaker, the family of the late Derek Gashoki has a right to know the details surrounding the incident and clarity on what led to such a loss of life. Most importantly, the security agencies must conduct a thorough investigation and provide clear and honest explanations to address any concerns and uphold trust in the justice system. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, provide a report from the relevant agencies regarding the status of the investigations into the death of Mr. Derek Gashoki at Kendai Shopping Center. 2, provide information on whether the police officer involved in the killing of Mr. Derek Gashoki has been apprehended and prosecuted, and explain measures the government has put in place to address extrajudicial killings and the use of excessive force by the police. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Tongoyo, that is to you. When can you bring a response? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So that. Next, Honorable Raila Kasiwai, member for West Pokot.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of the Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation regarding the current status of the construction of the Sioi Muruny Dam in West Pokot constituency, rather in Pokot South constituency, West Pokot County. Honorable Speaker, The Sioi Murung Dam is a critical development project for West Pokot County designed to supply potable water to approximately 350,000 residents in Kapenguria, Kabich Beach, Chepararia towns, and adjacent regions who currently grapple with lack of access to clean and safe water. This multipurpose dam project, being implemented by the National Water Harvesting and Storage Authority, was initiated in March 2015 with an initial projected completion date of March 2018. However, it is deeply concerning that more than 6 years after the original scheduled completion date, the project remains unfinished. The prolonged delays have significantly impacted the residents of West Pokot County, infringing on their constitutional rights to access clean and safe water in adequate quantities as enshrined in Article 43, 1D of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on the following. 1. What is the current status of Sioi Murung Dam project and what are the reasons behind the delay in its completion? 2. What steps has the government undertaken to address the challenges that have led to the delay in the completion of this project? And 3, what measures are being taken by the ministry and National Water Harvesting Storage Authority to complete the Sioi Murung Dam project, including budgetary allocation in the financial year 2024-2025 and revised timelines for full operationalization of the dam? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairman, Water and Blue Economy. Bowen, when can you bring the statement?
Honorable Speaker, in 2 weeks, we'll bring a response.
Okay, 2 weeks it is. Next, Honorable Rahab Mukami, Member for Nyeri County.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee on Health regarding support for persons with cerebral palsy in the country. Honorable Speaker, in the past, stigma and discrimination were major barriers for persons with cerebral palsy. Such challenges were due to lack of awareness and attribution of cerebral palsy to witchcraft. Consequently, many children with cerebral palsy were hidden and excluded from the society. These actions resulted in minimal government support, budget allocation, society outreach, and product services for intervention. However, persons with cerebral palsy are now coming out and interacting with the society, but still, we are not yet where we need to be supporting persons with cerebral palsy in Kenya. There are still gaps in health care, education, employment, support, and social participation that needed to be bridged. In addition, there is a need for continued effort to improve the lives of persons with cerebral palsy and their families, given that many children with cerebral palsy are born to young mothers who lack the necessary information on the condition and financial support, among others, to enable them to provide essential cares. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee on Health on the following. 1. What measures has the government put in place to increase awareness about the cerebral palsy, to equip the caregivers with the necessary information? 2. Could the chairperson explain efforts made by the government to increase the availability and affordability of cerebral palsy interventions, quality assessments, therapy services, assistive devices, medication, and basic essential? 3. Are there any support systems such as physical assistance provided by the government to enable the families to provide better care for persons with cerebral palsy. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairman Health, Honorable Bukose, that request is to your committee. Were you even listening?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
I saw
I was
America
consulting
keeping you
with
so
the
busy.
I was consulting with the chair on a retreat to Kisumu, which they were putting this week, and yet we have the finance bill. But I want to assure the member that we can give a response in 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Response to statements. Statement requested by Honorable Timothy Toroitich, Member Marakwet West. Honorable Tongoyo.
Mike, please. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In response to the said statement, I want to state as follows. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Marakwet West, Honorable Timothy Torotich, had sought a statement regarding the issue of National Police Reservists deployed in boundary-prone area. Honorable Speaker, the National Police Reservist assists the National Police Service to dispense its mandate, including maintenance of law and order and protection of life and property and law enforcement. The National Police Service Standing Order, Section 115, provides that reservist police officers shall pay as such remuneration and allowances as the National Police Service Commission shall, in consultation with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, determine. And Honorable Speaker, to be very specific, our NPR currently get a stipend of 5,000 monthly, which is paid to them. Honorable Speaker, NPR are recruited from the locals who are consistent with the local culture and terrain. The sub-county security, the process of doing it is as follows. The security sub-county committee, in collaboration with the local administration, identify potential candidates. After the committees identify such candidate, the minutes are sent to the county security committee for verification. Thereafter, sent to the KPS headquarters together with the fingerprints of the recruits candidates. The fingerprints are forwarded to DCI for further vetting. Clearance is received before the training commenced. Honorable Speaker, Article 110(7) of the NPC Act, revised 2014, stipulates that the Inspector General of Police undertake the training of police reservist officers to ensure that they are consistent with the relevant provision of the Constitution and this Act. Article 1, subsection 3 of the same provide that the reserve officers shall be enlisted and trained by the IG. The NPS standing orders provide that NPRS may undergo training, which include general police duties, weapon training, shooting, conflict resolution and management, and the method of persuasion, care of specific victims. And the training is done at the county level. There exists a standard training syllabus which is used for all the training countrywide. Honorable Speaker, the NPR undergoes a mandatory 6 weeks training in arms handling, law and safety, after which successful trainees usually pass out through a police parade. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I submit.
Timothy Toroitich, you've heard the response. Give him the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, whereas I appreciate the response by the Chair Security, Honorable Chair, we have been informed and that the allowance payable to NPR is Kenya shillings 5,000. Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker, I would like to get exactly the frequency of payment. Are they paid on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, or on a yearly basis?
Tongoyo.
Honorable Speaker, I had indicated that they are paid monthly, a stipend of 5,000 monthly, which is also good to appreciate that it is a factor that the sector is looking into. When the situation of the economy improves, where the discussions are underway to see how we can enhance them. But it is 5,000 and it's monthly.
Thank you. Next, a response to a request by the member for Kilgoris, Julius Ole Sunguli. Tongoy again. Is Sunguli in the house? Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On the response to a statement sought by the MP for Kilgoris, my senior Honorable Julius Sunguli, I want to respond as follows. It is a question regarding the insecurity in Angata Barikoi. Honorable Speaker, there has been conflict among the Kurias, the Maasais, and the Kipsigs over the use and the ownership of Kailolong land. Indeed, there is a court case that is pending before the Nakuru High Court. Honorable Speaker, the government has taken the following measures to enhance the peace in the area. One is, of course, the Peace Barasas and the Peace Building Initiative adopted by the government from time to time. The police station that has been put up in a place, Angata Barikoi Police Station, to help enhance security in the area. And it was established in a disputed land. The area member of parliament can attest to that. In the same area, Honorable Speaker, there have been a formation of several formed up units to include ASITU, that is anti-stock police unit, JSU, and even rapid response unit to help the JSU and other form units to ensure that peace prevails in the area along the border. Honorable Speaker, the government has put up in place the following measures to ensure harmonious coexistence of all warring communities who border each other. The continuous engagement with local leaders, the increased police patrol to deter the criminals, the establishment of the peace committee, deployment of specialized unit as I earlier indicated, and we are in process, Honorable Speaker, even to provide vehicles to the same police stations and the the police there to enable them have the patrols whenever need arises. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Julius Sunguli, you satisfied with the response?
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the chairman for that answer. But Mr. Chairman, the case in court is not between the people of Angata and the Kuria people. It is between the Maasai people of Lolgorian and the Kipsigis people of Angata. So the Kuria are not in any land dispute with anybody there. So I think that the ministry should give a better answer and tell us what is the analysis about the true cause of this fight. And secondly, could the chairman confirm that one of the biggest problems we have there is that there are no vehicles, as you have just said, and that vehicles for the OCPD Lolgorian are going to be provided as soon as possible. But if the ministry treats this as a land dispute between the Kuria and the people of Angata, then they have it wrong. They have to identify who exactly is disputing the land, because the Kurias have not gone to court against the Kipsigis people who live in Angata.
Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate, of course, the concern of the Member of Parliament, and for record, I also come from the same county, and I understand the dynamics and the historical land equation in that area. And Mr. Sunguli Even previously, as when he was practicing law, he may have even probably handled some land dispute cases along the area. But I want to say, Mr. Speaker, with his help and other actually players in the area, the ministry is going to look into and go deeper, looking into the question. But Mr. Sunguli, the MP, you all know the dynamic and the question in the issue of the land in that area. Because behind the issue of the couriers, the issue of the Kalenjin and the people in Logorian, there is even a long-standing problem between the Western issue and the Syria. And those problems are correlated in a manner. But I want to give an assurance that we are going to speed up the investigation if need be. If there are people who are behind this, the government is not going to hesitate to take action. I'd also mentioned that I know there has been a problem about mobility of our police officers to respond to distress calls. You have noted that there is a 10 billion shilling in the just read budget to look into the issue of leasing of police vehicles. And Kilgoris is one of the counties, and specifically sub-counties, which are going to benefit from the leasing of the vehicle to the police. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Kitayama. Member for Kuria East. Give Honorable Kitayama the microphone. There you are.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the answer that I've just heard is a true misrepresentation of facts on the ground and a perpetuation of escapism that all governments have been doing around that area. Honorable Speaker, the problem in that area is known by everybody, including the one who asked this question. This problem must be traced from the 1660s, when the migration of people was happening in this country. And Honorable Speaker, the 2010 Constitution did give us instruments through constitutional bodies that would address historical land injustices. And that is why the National Land Commission was set up. Honorable Speaker, it is on record, even in this House, that as early as the time that the Laikipia migration was happening, back during the colonial days, that is when the resettlement that happened in Transmara-Kuria border started causing these problems that are here. And everybody knows that they are just playing to the gallery by escaping the facts. Mr. Speaker, it is also true that the TJRC commission that was set up to look into these issues documented this problem very extensively. And even after the TJRC report, the National Land Commission has listened to the complaints of the people of Kuria and the complaints of the people from Kilgoris and the people of the Maasai in that area. So, Honorable Speaker, it is unfair for us to continue receiving answers that are not solving the problem. And it is also not true that the people of Kuria are not in court. The honorable member knows that in Kilgoris there is a running court case around this matter. In Nakuru there is a running court case around this matter. He himself knows he has appeared before the National Land Commission and over this same matter. The National Land Commission is even continuously, is as we speak, reviewing this matter. So, Honorable Speaker, this answer is not helpful. It is not an answer that is meant to help the communities that are out there. And Honorable Speaker, there is no such thing as the Kuria having no rights there. The Kuria have documented rights. If you go to the National Archives, you will find the agreements that were written by the colonial governments during that, and there is no government that gets, governments exist in perpetuity. So the colonial government did record the agreements. The people of Kuria are rightfully claiming that land, and the matter is being frustrated by senior government officials over the years. Every government that has been in this country since independence has continuously frustrated the rights that the people of Kuria have been laying over this. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, you are not being told that in 2019, the National Land Commission did award the Kuria community that said piece of land, and it's only 20,000 acres. And the National Land Commission, if you go to the Kenya Gazette, it did the January Kenya Gazette, January 2019. The people of Kuria were awarded by none other than a commission of this country, a legal commission, the National Land Commission. So, Honorable Speaker, this is a scheme to keep this matter in court and continue frustrating the people of Kuria, purporting that they have no rights to live in Rift Valley. In Tanzania, the people of Kuria live in Tanzania, in Rift Valley. In other jurisdictions...
You've made your point.
Yes, Your Honorable Speaker, and we cannot continue having the... And Honorable Speaker, it can also be traced in 1989, when